So this is Adobe Express Beta, and it's really a creative tool for non-creatives. And what I mean by that is you don't need to be a designer to use it. It's not complicated like other Adobe softwares like Photoshop and Illustrator and all of the Creative Suite. This is a really nice online tool to create graphics and videos for your social media. You could do some basic video editing, photo editing. You can create and edit documents. You can import PDFs to edit. You can export PDFs, create all kinds of things like your brochures, newsletters, reports, catalogs, menus, business cards, even certificates. And there are some really great quick features on here, such as removing image background, creating QR codes. Now, creating QR codes is super useful to have, and then it can go straight into your project, so you can add your branding and your graphics and everything. So yeah, let's dive in. The first thing I'm going to do is go into my things and create a brand. Now, you can create many brands, so maybe you're just creating graphics and materials for your own brand, like I do with Fergie Design. Maybe you're also creating brands as a social media manager or a content creator for other brands, so you can set those all up here. Now, to create a brand, you give it a name. So I will just put in a sample for now. Then you can upload your logo in JPEG, PNG, SVG, AI Illustrator file, whatever format you have. You can add in your colors, so your brand colors. You're just going to add a hex value or the RGB value for your swatches. Or if you don't have a brand, this is how you can start to create it. You know, pick those colors that you want to be able to use. Add your fonts. You know, for example, we can add Montserrat, because who doesn't love Montserrat? And we can add any graphics. Now, what this will do is put your brand together so that anything you start to create within Express, you can make sure it's on brand. You can be always having access to your color palette, so you're getting the right shades. You've always got your logo available to drop in, and then you can add any other graphics. So maybe you've gotten stock imagery, maybe you've taken your own photographs of your products. You can start to add that all in here within your brand. Think of a library as where you group everything. So how I use libraries is similarly for brand projects, specific projects, my own stuff. You know, it's my way of organizing just the thousands of graphics files and images and everything that I have. The nice thing about this for me as a designer is that it's connected into the rest of my Adobe suite, so I can add and everything there. But for those of you using Express, you can create a library, and we'll give it a name. So I'm just going to call it test for now. And here again, you can add colors, fonts, graphics. Now this might be non-brand specific. It might be campaign specific. It might be seasonally specific for your brand, but it's not actually your core brand materials. You know, you might have some additional colors for a specific product range, and then graphics and images to go with that. So that's what you could create a library for. This is going to allow you to upload all of your own materials here and be able to access it really easily when you're in Express. The nice thing about libraries is no matter whether you're using Express within the browser or using the mobile app on your phone or your tablet, you'll be able to access your libraries. So that's kind of one of the benefits, one of the many benefits to using them. It means I don't have to be on my laptop and then, you know, dragging in and uploading files and things as I go. So now I have my brand set up already. I'm going to go ahead and start to use a template and create a graphic. So I am going to create an announcement for my new services. So I want to look at some new templates here, and there is such a wealth. I mean, look at all of these available options. There's so much for me to pick from, and they all look really nice. Like I can see so many examples. I'm just, so many ideas coming to my mind when I see this. And I think that's the nice thing about templates is you might think of one thing and then see something else that inspires you to go in a different direction. So yeah, I think using templates is always a really good start. But you can also start from scratch and start from a blank project. Now the filters here, I can sort by whether it's included within my plan, but importantly, I can choose whether I want a video template, an animated template, or a template with multiple pages. Maybe I'm doing a carousel, maybe I'm making a document. So I'm going to go with animated because that's what I like to share on my socials. And you'll see this icon here, it's kind of like a bouncing ball. That tells me that this is an animated template, and when I hover over it, I get to preview what the animation is. So a lot of options here. You know, imagine something like this example. You could very easily just drop in your own video to that background of your product. Say summer collection, winter collection, latest collection, whatever it is, a launch date, and you're done already. Like within a matter of minutes, you can have a new video ready for your socials. I actually quite like this one with the kind of gradient and the text going on. So I'm going to start here and use as a start position for my project. So I'm going to say up here, new service offering. I like to name my files so I can find them all later. Now, this is not very on brand for me, but we're going to make it on brand. To start with, we can see all of the different layers of this. There is a video background, there is a grouped text layer, we've got our image, and then we've got a group here of the shape with the text inside, and then a couple of text layers. I really like having the layers visible like this because, for example, if I'm trying to select this video, I have to click quite specifically. So it's nice that I could just click anywhere, go into my layers, and select my video background. And this is specifically helpful when you have a lot of layers and elements going on within your project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make this more Fergie. So green and orange, as much as it is a nice color palette, it's a nice color combo, it's not on brand for me. So I want to start with recoloring it. I'm going to go here to effects, and we've got duotone. Now I really like duotone because it just is a super easy way of recoloring something. So I can pick something that might be a bit more similar. So this is very pink, it's quite on brand for me, and we can see how that's applied to the gradient in the background. Maybe I want to go a bit darker with some purples. Don't really have blue in my brand, but yeah, you can select from any of these, or we can go custom. And this is then going to allow me to select from my brand. So I can then switch, which is what this little arrow icon means. I don't want to use pitch, which is a different project of mine. I can select from my brands and my libraries, and I want to find my Fergie design. So now I have all of my on-brand color swatches. So I'm going to give it a go with maybe a pink and orange would be quite nice. So pink highlights, orange shadows, maybe. Let's see what this does. And then I'm going to grab the scrubber here and see, it goes a bit peachy. So let me go back into those settings, and I might swap the pink for the lilac, or maybe I'll swap the orange for my turquoise. Given it's a gradient, it's a little different. So it's all about a little bit of trial and error. I quite like that, but it's not super spot on brand for me. So actually this turquoise, I'm going to change it to my Fergie pink. And already that looks far more on brand. So not as much contrast happening as the green and the orange, but I think for me it still works really nicely. So I am gonna just leave that there. Now, image. This is not my image, this is not what I want to use. I could go up here with the replace icon, and then I could find something within stock, or what I could also do is upload from my device, or I can go into my stuff, which is like my library, where I've already uploaded a lot of my brand content. And I've got a particular image in mind since this is for launching a new service. So I'm going to insert this image. Now you see I didn't do a replace, I just inserted it on top. So I'm going to resize it to kind of match, kind of roughly fit the layout. And then here with my layers panel, either with it selected, I can use, well, okay. So with the layers, I'm just going to drag that down and then remove that photo layer. Now, summer drop, in fact, I will just remove it. And I want to select that group here, which is like the box outline and the text, because I just want to remove the text and use it as placeholder for where I could add the link sticker on my Instagram story or something, maybe. It's like a little reminder. Maybe not. Who knows? You can do whatever you like. I'm going to remove that date there. So this is okay. My image needs to animate in though, because it's just kind of there. So I think I'm going to add some animation to it. So I'm going to select this, go to animation, and I can have an animation for how it comes into the scene, how it goes out of the scene, and then the animation it loops through as it stays in view. So to start with, I'm going to have it drop. Then I think I'll just have it stay there. So it's going to drop in. I'm going to change this slightly on the timeline. So you can see this is the layer and this is my timeline. So this is my layer timing. So I can see that it's going to drop in. Maybe that's a bit too late. And then the text comes in. If I want to change that to come a bit later, I just drag this along. It's pretty good. I quite like that. Now I don't want my image to do anything whilst it's there, but if you did, you could say anything like breathe, bob, you know, some of these are quite fun, quite dynamic. So whatever movement goes best with what it is you're creating, goes best with your brand. I quite like wiggle. Wiggle is quite fun. I feel like I'd like to add a picture of a laptop, but I know I don't have one of those in my library. So I'm going to go to media and find one. This is pretty good. But let's say I wanted a laptop with a notebook, with headphones, you know, with anything, whatever it might be. Maybe I quite like this one with the hands. What I can do is I'm just going to crop this because I only want this part of it, and then start to resize it for my needs. And what I want to do is remove the background. I want it to be just the laptop and the hands. So it's going to cut that out for me, which has just saved me a load of time. I don't have to go into Photoshop or anywhere else, which for me is perfect. Now I want this to go slightly behind because the top of the laptop is cut off. So I'm going to layer this behind my image. There. And animation wise, I could have this like drift in. That's obviously from the wrong side, so I can change the direction. And whilst it's here, do I want it to do anything? Breathe, link, wiggle. The laptop can wiggle. I think that's quite nice. But I want this to come in a lot later than everything else. And then out it can just drop. I think that's fine. Like noticed here, it's cut out a bit of the laptop by accident. So instead of restoring the image, I'm going to go to erase and then select restore. Let me just have a circle brush instead. of the quick selection. So quick selection is going to try and select the area very much like the tool in Photoshop, whereas circle brush gives you that control to actually just paint in the part that you want. I can also zoom in here to make sure it's as accurate as I need it to be. There we go. Done. Now it's updated and we've got the full mouse pad. It's not accidentally cut out. That's animating in. You might want to add some audio. You can do that. Let me remove the search term. So there's all kind of acoustic and background sounds that you can add from right here within Express. If you're not going to be using, like a trending sound on Instagram or TikTok. We can add in video. So that's where that background came from originally. This gradient here, it's a video. You can add all sorts. You can drag and drop and upload your own materials, of course, as well. But I think for me, this is pretty good. Just a little bit of promoting and sharing a new service that I've launched, or am launching. It's a bit long. I don't really need it to be 10 seconds. So let's see, by the time everything is here, I might want to do a voiceover though once I bring it into socials. So I'll keep it as 10. I think it's all right. And the last thing for me to do, I don't have yellow in my brand color palette. So I'm going to come in here and edit the text. Alrighty. Now I could also select all of these at once. I just did a Command Alt, and I could change this to be my brand font. That's better. And now I just want to align this to also be central, so there's just a little bit of matching space, top and bottom. So let's see how it's looking now. That's pretty good. What I might do, because my font is very bold, far bolder than the one it was in the template, is I'm going to just reduce the opacity so it's not as shouty. There's a lot of things trying to get everyone's attention, whereas now it's just in the background. Got a little keyboard wiggle so that they're together. Rotate it slightly. I could put this up here. Might balance it a bit more. It's quite big. Ooh. And now for this. Maybe this one could spin. Oh, it spins all the way around. Wow. I like that wiggling. That's quite nice. And this would be nice to just fade in. Oh, I like that. Spin. Tumble, not as much. Spin. I quite like that. So I can spin in and spin out the opposite way. Oh, actually, I didn't need to spin out so much. So now, lots of things wiggling. Might turn the wiggle off of the laptop. But maybe you're thinking you need to have this across multiple platforms to advertise on all of them. We can go ahead and click resize, and we can create all of the different sizes we need at once within this one project. So we're not having to have a different file or a different project per size or per difference. So I'm going to ask for a square post, potentially also a YouTube video layout, Pinterest pin idea. So duplicate and resize. And now it has taken that one that I created and made those various sizes for me. So I can go into the square layout here. And you'll see all of my animation is still here, all of my elements are still there, but I just need to do a few minor adjustments. Alrighty. I would say that's pretty good. It's exactly what I need. But I've got all of these within this one document and they're all ready to go. Now I'm going to go and create a graphic. So we've done videos, we've done animation. Let's do more of just a still graphic, so no animations or anything. Maybe I'll do it as a reel, but we'll do it as just an image. So I'm going to say create from scratch. And I'm going to get the AI to do a lot of work for me here. So let's say I am launching a physical product and I don't have a studio to shoot it in. I've just taken my product, shot it on my desk, my kitchen table, I've shot it in my bathroom, wherever I have had the best lighting, and I've just taken that photo with my phone. So let's use a beauty item as an example. So I'm going to go here and get a bottle, but I want it to be a photo, not a video. And we're going to use this just as an example, and we're going to pretend that I took this photo at home. So let's take, I think that little glass bottle looks pretty good. So let's take this as an example. Just going to make this bigger. And of course, you know the score, we're going to remove the background. But then I'm also, I think, going to remove one of the bottles, but we'll see. Now, this is whatever it could be. Maybe it's a facial cleanser, right? So I wanted it to be set somewhere else, but you know, I don't have Studio, I don't have Photoshop, I can't do all of this. I am going to do text to image. I'm going to get Adobe Firefly, which is their image generation AI, to help me out here. So it's put in this placeholder for me. And now I just have to write in English what I want my image to be. So I'm going to say, a round mirror on sand with so many typos, palm leaf. And see what it does. Now I've left it on content type photo because I want it to look realistic. You could select art or graphic, depending on what type you want it to generate. And then there's all kinds of styles that you can apply on top of that. Oh, wow, look at this. That is lovely. These are really great. Because then imagine, I just want to put my faux home taken photo into this composition so that it looks a lot better. All right, we're going to make this fit because I want this to fill the whole thing, and I'm going to put that layer to the back. To just put this layer to the back, but okay, let's do it again. And I can still change my mind. So, you know, we've gone and done some things, then maybe this image isn't quite right. You can still go back into text to image. You can add more to your prompt. You can change your prompt completely, or we could select some of the other options. I really quite like these ones. I feel like I could try and attempt to make it look like the bottle is stood on there, but that might take a fair bit of work. So I am going to say flat lay, and then see what difference that makes for me. Because it's almost a particular angle that I need for this. But if this is my own product that I've taken the photo myself, you know, I could create this background and always reshoot this picture quickly with my phone and upload that photo into Express via the mobile app and then keep working on it. So, you know, it's not taking me a whole day's worth of extra effort or anything. I quite like this one because we've got this space here. So what I'm going to do is actually go into erase, and I'm going to, instead of quick selection, which is automatically going to help you to remove or restore an area, I'm going to use the brush for more precision, because I don't want it to accidentally take out a hole or a chunk from the bottle that I want remaining. So I've taken that out, and now I'll be left with just the one. So I could stand that down here. I could also try and find an image with a different angle, but like I said, if you're shooting your own products, you could just then retake this at that slightly tilted angle, so you know it looks like it's sitting in the sand. And then we can add some text. So I'm going to go with text and give this a name. So new facial, what was I calling it? Cleanser. But I don't want it to be just text. It would be really cool if maybe this was made out of sand, like I'd used the sand to write these letters. Well, just how we created this image with AI, we can also do text effects with AI. And there's a lot of samples that you can look at and be inspired by, things like pink balloon. So you don't actually have to go out and buy balloons to do balloon lettering and photograph it and then again Photoshop it and cut it all out. You can use the pink balloons, or you can change that prompt to be blue, purple, yellow, whatever you might want it to be. Maybe we want this to be cactus or fig leaf, or maybe I want it to be palm leaves. I want it to look like it's made out of palm leaves. That could be pretty good. And you'll see, if I zoom in here, it's now making it look like a cactus very quickly. All I've done is select something. And if I go out of the sample effects, you'll see there's many options that I can pick from. And I can put my own prompt in as well. So maybe I want this to be made out of palm leaves. So I will just ask it to now go and generate some text effects that looks like palm leaves, and it will go away, have a think, and generate some results for me. I think this is quite nice. Again, this is something that would take a lot of time usually, or you'd be taking an image and masking letters into it, which doesn't always look as good. If I don't like any of these, I can tell it, give me more options. We could be really specific with our prompts, and then also, you know, how tight or how loose do I want it to be. So if I select tight, it's going to really keep the effect within the letter forms really quite sharp and quite clean. Loose, it will let it kind of flow out a little bit, so I might get some leaves sticking out, so it looks a little more natural. So let's expand this to be palm leaves laying on sand, generate. So you can see it's now started to put the sand in for me. You can see with these as well. But actually, I just want it to be, maybe I just want it to be sand. So let's just type sand, golden sand, maybe black sand. So now it looks like, you know, I've kind of piled and carefully, meticulously put sand onto this mirror when I haven't. AI's done it for me. So I'm now ready to share this. I'm going to schedule this for tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. And I want this to go to my Facebook channel. I can add my caption here. New rose water cleanser. You know, you can look at a preview. You could just save it as a draft because maybe you want to come back to it later. It won't be published. But I'm going to have this published tomorrow, not now. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it to schedule this for me. And let me take you to this scheduler. So from the home screen, you've got this little tab bar down the left. You can go ahead and click schedule. And this will bring up a calendar view of your month or your week. So you can see I've been playing around with this a fair amount. I've scheduled something for Pinterest, so I can click on this to have a look, and I can still edit everything. So that's another version of an image that I created, all AI generated. With Pinterest, you can select what board you want it to go to, you know, add in everything like your pin title, the website destination for when they click on it, everything like that. I can still go and edit this Facebook post. If I want to preview it, it's going to show me what it will look like on Facebook. So what is that preview space going to look like? Obviously, this is because my image dimensions were more for like Instagram story, but you get the idea. And you can connect all of your channels by managing your connections. Currently, these are the platforms that you can connect to. And if I want to reconnect my Pinterest, I'm going to press that button there. That gives me this pop-up window. And it will just ask me, because I'm already signed into Pinterest. Do I want to give it the permission? I'm just going to give it access. And now we're done. So we can see that is connected. So that's all of my accounts connected. And yeah, if I decide actually I don't want to put these two out on the same day, maybe I want to launch this one on Friday instead, just simply drag and drop everything